What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a pretty short video. This is going to be a quick vehicle update. We've had our 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness for about 6 months, so I thought I'd get a quick update review to you. We bought this new, traded our Outback XT in for it, mainly for to save some money. Outback XT, we had a ton of equity in it, so we don't actually owe that much on this, and it gets a little bit better gas mileage. We'll talk about that. So no issues with it. I just changed the oil in it, and the only issue with the change of the oil is that there's actually a skid plate underneath. Not a very good skid plate, but you do have to remove basically a panel underneath there to get to the oil drain plug, which is a little bit of a pain, but so we haven't had any issues with it. There is chips all over it already, so I already have a crack or a little chip in the windshield. Not really sure if you can see that, but there is a chip in the windshield there, and I already have some rock dings, but that could just be from, you know, being in Ohio, but we already have some dings there. So overall, general use, I drive this around with my 2 kids very often. It's a very comfortable vehicle to drive. It's small, easier to get in and out of. It doesn't have stock tires on there. That's the first thing I changed, was put different tires on there. These are the Michelin Cross Climate 2, which I think are the best tires out there, if you ask me, especially if you live in a place that gets some snow. But the styling of it has grown to, you know, be okay. I wasn't a big fan of the white, but that's all they had when I bought it. I still love the LED headlights, especially the steer responsive ones. I would hate to see what they would cost to get replaced, but they are lifesavers if you're doing any type of backcountry roads. So that's something. The cladding, all the plastic cladding has grown on me. It is useful when you're getting your kids in and out. Our toddler, for some reason, likes to kick this a lot, so there is some kick marks down there, but you can't really see them. And we really just like how it's for the price point. I think it's one of the more practical vehicles besides the new 2023 CR-V. It just has a ton of room on the inside. There's not a lot of storage room in the front, first things, but there's tons of leg room, tons of availability, tons of glass. We love that, especially compared to my wife's 2018 CR-V, which has a few benefits over this, but it does not have the visibility this does, so it's very visible. And when you have the sunroof down, it is a very large sunroof, very airy, roomy, open feeling cabin. Love that the doors open nearly 90 degrees, so it's easy to get our toddlers in and out. It fits large car seats. This is the Nuna Rava Exec, or Nuna Exec, which is a pretty big car seat. Fits it no problem. I like that you have these foot panels there to step on if you want to get on the roof. You can put some extra weight up here versus the other Foresters. I'm not really sure the amount, but we will probably use that on vacation, so I do like that. And I like these little anchors here. This is all Subarus have this, but essentially it makes it more rigid, so if you get in a wreck, more likely probably not to kill yourself. So there's tons of room back there. Talking about room, there's tons of room in the back, which we like. We have a pretty big Bob Revolution 3 something stroller, which is pretty big, but there's tons of room back here if you want to store some stuff. Full-size spare. That's one of the big reasons I bought this, was for a full-size spare. Granted, I need to get the Michelin Cross Climate 2 versus this Geolander tire. I will do that before vacation, but there's tons of storage room back there, and it comes with a full-size spare, which you may not need, but the second you do need it, you're going to actually love that. I do like the shortened departure and approach angles. So it has a little bit shorter front bumper. I've noticed it's useful getting in on a parking lots, which you wouldn't think would be, but overall, it's been a really good, fun vehicle to drive. It's not STI fun like I had before in the past, or Outback XT fun, but it is extremely enjoyable and peaceful to drive in the summer, especially with the sunroof down. You got the windows down here, tons of visibility. It's just a really nice. And the actual anti-glare on the front, I've actually noticed to actually be pretty helpful in the summertime. So it's pretty sunny right now, and it's pretty helpful on the highway, just overall in general, just driving around. Gas mileage has not been good. I don't know if it's just because it only has 4,000 miles on it, or driving it too rough, or just when I bought it, it was wintertime and it's just now getting summer. But gas mileage on this thing is pretty awful. Let's see if I can show you here. So let's see. So currently, okay, so over the light, I'm getting about 20.9 miles per gallon, which is awful. Over 3,700 miles. Currently, I'm getting 24. I just changed the oil and it's a little bit warmer out, so maybe that's more accurate. But even 24 is awful for this. My wife's CRV, which is 2018, gets 28 to 30 miles per gallon all the time. I doubt this thing will get above 24, which I know it has a different transmission, higher gear ratio, but I think the Forester isn't known for getting good gas mileage, and I think that's because the engine's, I wouldn't say the engine's awful, it's just outdated. I just don't think it's a very good engine. It's very loud, drony. There's not a lot of torque, there's not a lot of anything in it. It's just a very, compared to the 1.5 turbo in the CRV, it's just a very, I would consider it an outdated, like this is like a 2014 engine. It feels like it's just a very old engine. CVT's good. I don't have any issues with that. It feels pretty good, responsive. Kind of holds revs a little high, so it almost seems like it has rev hang, even though it doesn't have a turbo to do that. But besides that, I really bought it for better gas mileage. I was really hoping for 20, 27, 28 miles per gallon, but I don't think that's going to happen. I have a very short commute to work. Usually it takes me probably about 6 miles, so 10, 15 minutes max. So maybe that's the reasoning, but not super thrilled with the gas mileage. But overall, happy with it. Besides that, I think we paid around $35,000 for it, which for the price point, you could get other vehicles I would look at. I would probably look very hard at the CRV Sport Hybrid, mainly because you can get probably 35 to 38 miles per gallon, where this you're not going to get anywhere near that. So that would probably be the only vehicle I would look at. I really like the new 2023 Honda CRVs. Even if you got a regular one with the 1.5 turbo, that'll get you 28 miles per gallon all the time. But that's really the only other vehicle I would look at. I'm not a huge fan of the RAV4. I just don't like a whole lot about it. But overall, happy with it. I did the service myself. It's pretty easy to do once you figure out that you have to take some pins out or some fasteners and a screw to get to the oil drain. Brakes are really good too. I forgot to mention that. For the vehicle, it has pretty strong brakes. I don't know if it's because it's got smaller tires or what, but the brakes on it have actually been pretty good. So that's it. Oh, the seats. I really like the seats. So essentially you can wash them out. They're basically fake leather, but they're really, really nice seats. Don't judge my bag of Doritos, but I really like the seats. They're comfortable. This one's not power and it sits up a little high, at least that's what my wife said, but it's really nice, comfortable seats. Overall, it's a very comfortable, practical family vehicle. That's why we got it. So that's it. I will get updates up as I go, but if you have any comments, questions, leave them below and I will get back to you, and have a good rest of the day, weekend, or what it is out there, and I'll see you guys next time.